Hello everyone, World Rocket Health here with you. This is the 10th anniversary video series commemorating a whole decade since my spiritual awakening and since I became vegan, since I became conscious and born again. And I started this video series to document what I've learned over 10 years since I had another chance at life, particularly as it pertains to the fields of psychology, health, wellness, meditation, inner work, self-growth, and becoming the best version of you. So today is part 2 in my video series, 10-year anniversary video series, and today's topic is self-love and self-acceptance. This is really easy to do, but the ego and the mind and the intellect can trick us into thinking it's difficult. But it's essentially very easy. Now, the problem is that as we grow up in society, as we are exposed to, societal conditioning, education conditioning, family and religious conditioning, we often get the sense that we have to fit into some ideal, whether it's an aesthetic ideal or an academic ideal, or we have to pursue a certain career or be in certain kinds of relationships or be expected to abide by certain family traditions, whatever the case may be. All of that feeds into the destruction and the gradual erosion of our self-esteem. And as a result of that, a lot of people in society, myself included, have struggled a lot in cultivating self-love and self-acceptance. Now, why is self-love important? Well, it's important because if you don't love yourself, you can't enjoy your life. There might be periods of happiness because the naturally complex nature of humanity means you're always going to go through a range of emotions, both positive and negative. But if you don't have self-love, then you have no anchor, you have no stable grounding to which you can come back whenever life gets unpredictable, helter-skelter or crazy. So loving yourself is very important, and it's really important to emphasize exactly where and how self-love is important. Everyone on this planet easily and effortlessly loves themselves when their life is going well, when they're doing well at work, their relationships are great, their health is good, their energies are good, the weather is nice that day. However, it's much harder to love ourselves when we're feeling like crap, when things in the 3D reality are not going according to plan. And that's where the work is. That's where we have to learn how to love ourselves and be kind to ourselves and to love those parts of ourselves which we have deemed unsanitary or we have deemed bad or wrong, and which society has made us think erroneously that they are wrong. So the work is really in loving those parts of ourselves. How can we do this? There are many ways. In my opinion, the easiest way is meditation. What is meditation? Meditation is very simply focusing inwards, focusing on your inner state, focusing on the thought processes and the body processes, the emotional processes, the body feelings, having a silent focus on this or a conscious focus is meditation. And through focusing on our feelings for extended periods of time, helps us to embrace and accept parts of ourselves which we may not be willing to look at. So meditation is a very practical step that we can take. Now, it is a practice. No one can achieve full or a complete sense of self-love and self-acceptance right away, even once you've started on the journey. That's why it's really important to encourage yourself on the process of learning, to keep encouraging yourself to stay the course, right? Because you might be practicing some self-love techniques through meditation or, breathing exercises or physical exercises, but then you're going to have days where you relapse, where you engage in habits that make you feel a sense of shame or a lack of self-esteem. And it's really important in those times to be gentle with yourself because it's a learning process and no growth path is linear, at least not in my life. There's so many times I've progressed along the line through development, and then I'll hit a point where I just seem to yo-yo back again. And it can be very easy to trick yourself into thinking that you've gone back to square one, but you haven't gone back to square one. All of that development is still, all of that development is still valid. It can't be erased. Now, what those relapses tell you is that no matter how far you develop in your self-love, you are still going to err. You're still going to make mistakes. You're still going to be flawed and human, right? You're still going to have, maybe you don't want to have certain cravings and desires, but you get them anyway, even after doing all of the spiritual work. What is that teaching you? That is teaching you that you are still human, that you are still going to be swayed by the infinite complexity of this human experience. So it's very important to realize that all of the development and all of the work that you've done is still valid, and these have given you skills which you can easily come back to each time you feel like you're not living in full integrity. And it enables you to get a bit better at bouncing back each time you fall, bouncing back each time you go through a dark spell and you don't quite know how to handle the shit that's thrown your way. So always remember that growth is never linear. Sometimes it's like a zigzag staircase, right? A diagonally inclining zigzag. You go up, then down again, up, down again. So realizing the non-linear nature of growth is really important. And self-love does not have to look like pretending to be positive all the time or tricking yourself into thinking you have to always be happy and feel good. Self-love is, in my personal experience anyway, self-love has been more effective when I've learned how to sit with the darker, more quote-unquote negative and more disgusting and uglier aspects of myself, or aspects which I have previously deemed uglier. Learning how to sit with these and accept them and love them without trying to change the nature of what they are. Following the processes of what these sensations are trying to teach me has enabled me to develop self-love in a more holistic and powerful way. And conversely, that also helps you to feel more positive. Once you've accepted those dark demons and embraced them as part of you, then when you are positive and optimistic and you are emitting this kind of gorgeous glow of just magnetism, it's coming from a more authentic place, from a place of being not kind of trying to fit into this stereotypical idea of this enlightened guru who can do no wrong, but from a place of fully embracing your humanity in all of its complexity, in all of its nooks and crannies and what have you. So that's very important. Self-love and self-acceptance. There are so many ways to do it. I recommend focusing on the parts of yourself that you like the least, because it's through that more self-love is cultivated, and good luck. You can do it. I've made a lot of progress in this. I still have a lot to learn, and you can do it too. This has been Wild Rocket Health with you, and this has been part 2 of the 10th Awakening Anniversary video series. Till next time.